You don't have to be a writer or a student to have to write a lot. What are my favorite tools for writing that increase my efficiency by easily 70%? Stay tuned and find out. I have a true confession. I am a really terrible typist. During personal typing in high school, I was looking out the window. I was sort of hunting and pecking and getting by and thinking my way through. And if there's one piece of advice, if you're in high school watching this, learn to type, learn to keyboard. It is an invaluable skill that I wish I had learned at the time. So I write a lot. I write 4 or 5 page intakes when I do an intake through school. Dozens and dozens of papers, and I have several books out. One of my favorite tools is voice-to-text software. And let me say that I have no financial arrangement with any of the products that I'm going to talk about. The granddaddy of all the voice-to-text software is DragonSpeak. Now, DragonSpeak has come a long way, and in some ways they've also fallen backward. The best version that came out was Dragon 10, and it kind of went downhill from there a little bit. Unfortunately, Dragon dropped support for Mac users. This is a problem because I drank that Kool-Aid and I use all Mac all the time. And that forced me to look at some other software. But the thing that is the takeaway for me, on a good day, I may type 30 words a minute. I have mistakes. And with Dragon, I can talk up a storm and I can knock out easily 100, 120 words a minute, and it will stay right there with me and get every word exactly right. And it's not to say that you don't have to edit. Now, being a Mac user, Mac has its own internal software for voice to text. And it's useful because you can do your emails on it. You can do all sorts of dictation for reports on a Word format or on other formats, but unfortunately it's pretty primitive. It inserts various words where you haven't said the word, and my own has a proclivity for profanity. It's the weirdest darn thing. It will insert various words that I certainly don't use in my own language, much less writing, and it gets a little weird. One has to do a lot of editing with this. The first thing to remember about using voice to text is relax. Imagine you're just having a conversation with somebody. You're looking into that person's eyes and you're just explaining things. The reality is I'm not an English major either, but if it sounds right to the ear, it's highly likely to be right as it comes out on paper. There are several companies that make text to voice, and I encourage you to explore these. A lot of these have limits in terms of how much capacity they have. See which one fits for you best. It's software that really, truly increases my productivity by easily 70%. So voice to text sometimes gets it wrong. And there are collections of miscues in terms of that dictation. I put a disclaimer at the bottom of professional papers that lets people know that this was made with voice recognition software, and I might have missed some of the edits. Editing is an important function. If it goes out in the world and it's sloppy and as I mentioned, I am not an English major, and the amount of corrections I make really demonstrates that. But there is a tool out there, and there are free versions and premium versions called Grammarly. This is not anything I have any financial relation whatsoever. I just use the software and I like it. Grammarly is really good for cleaning up your presentation. It allows you to edit in a way that makes things flow more. You don't wind up using a lot of repetitive words. I'm doing a book right now, and I am using Grammarly to clean up the multitude of errors that have come using the Mac-based voice recognition software. And they're pretty horrendous. Grammarly is doing a good job of cleaning them all up. Now here's how to use Grammarly. I do a first pass, and I take care of all the immediate problems. Then I shut Grammarly down and I do a read. Grammarly will miss things or will misinterpret things. And then I run it through Grammarly again. I have a book coming out that should be out by the end of October 2021 on 50 power tips for college students. And know that that book was entirely done with voice recognition software and cleaned up by Grammarly. And, you know, it has truly allowed me to finish this book in really record time. If you like this presentation, you don't need me to tell you how to get more of it. You know what to do and how to do it. You've probably seen enough YouTube videos to have heard this ad infinitum. If it's been useful for you, thump that like button. And I would really like to hear your feedback on various applications that you've used. What are the tools that really have increased your efficiency in terms of what you do in a writing venue, in communication? This is G.H. Glade for Coaching ADD, and I'll see you next week. I appreciate you spending this time with me. Take care.